Yeah, I feel emotional right now for some reason. Dang, man, why you do this to me? This is good. This is good. But yeah, no, I feel like people need to hear that right now because there's a lot of people suffering and there's a lot of people that have goals and dreams, but because of their current suffrage, they're not able to reach or even start the process of reaching for their goals and dreams, and it's just stunting their growth so much. And I feel so much empathy for those people, but I just want to grab them. I just want to help them. I just want to show them what the rest of the world see, because of it don't matter what we think about how amazing somebody is. What matters is what they think about themselves. What matters is if they keep going.
Taking the time to learn more about public speaking? I love it. And trust me, watch till the end because there's some gold right there.
I'm Turner Taylor, like Laurie said. I've been in public speaking over the last 20 years, and that is from when I decided to go to the Marine Corps all the way up until I decided to do it full time. I've always been afraid of public speaking, always been afraid of it. I would not only just get on a stage to do a program at school, but I would talk to a group of three people and I would be sweating. I would be nervous. I would just, it was horrible. It was really bad, but it wasn't until I had an individual come to me and say, "Hey, you know what? That talk that you just gave to us uh, at work, it saved my life." There was a lady that she was just she was getting ready to give up and I had no idea. And it was weird. I got on the stage and I was just like, if you, because I was working as a vice president of safety. And I said, if you get fired for telling me about an issue with safety, let me know because I'll walk out with you. That they were afraid that they were going to lose their jobs. And it wasn't that I was going to like quit my job and go and look for a job with this individual. It was the fact that I recognized the problem. I talked to the people and I really was listening. And I was proud of the fact that I had a full pulse on the people that work with me. I was really proud of that. And I was able to make that connection. And it wasn't until I was sitting in my office one day and I just had this feeling of you ever had a moment where you just feel like you just don't have any purpose and you're like, which way do I go? I was there and I called my wife and I just said, I'm not happy. I was having a breakdown. And she said, um, what do you think will make you happy? And I was just like, I want to serve people, but I want to serve in another direction. I want to use my voice to help people. And she said, baby, come home. And the day after that, that's when I got busy. I got busy. I got started with speaking on stages. I started my podcast right after the pandemic because I had just started speaking full time. It was the weirdest thing. It was almost like the heavens was like, no, no, we're gonna wait. But I started getting mentorship from other speakers that were in the game, and I was recording it. And I never knew that I would be in the position today where our podcast would be in the top 5% of the world just because I wanted information on how to be a an effective public speaker. But and that's what brought me here with you today. I'm super excited to be on the show. I've been looking at the work that you've done, and I think that is beautiful. So it's a pleasure and honor to be on the same platform as you.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think what's so inspiring about what you just said, at least that's what I'm taking with me, is that like you don't go to university and become a public speaker, right? Like you are
Mhm.
born with something that's unique about you and your journey and your experience and just what you told in this short amount of time that just led you to what you're doing right now, and you just found the knowledge by yourself and with the help of others that got you to the place where you're right now. I mean, look at you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. No, definitely. And I love that you said with the help of others because there's so many people in my life right now and in the past that have poured into me, that have said, "Hey, we noticed that you never smile," because I was one of those kids that, and adults, you would see a picture of me, and I would always be serious because I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable being myself, and it was the people that put me in a place where I can be comfortable. Is the people that gave me encouragement to say, "Hey, you know what? The things that you're saying on stage, the things that you're saying in our groups, they're greatly affecting me." So I'm really I love loving on people because I've noticed that people love loving on me. So
That's awesome, and even I want to emphasize the point that you're making because um, right before we started recording, we had a little conversation, right? And I asked you how are you doing, and you said awesome, and then I was curious, like, okay, why? It was like, yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning right now. Our time difference is wild, so I like what you're saying, but that's also what you're doing, like to actually
yeah.
do what you say. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Y- Yeah, and it's not because, and that's what, and I'm glad you said that too. You got my brain going this morning. I'm glad that you said that because I've talked to so many people. I get people in my DMs, text messages, and they're saying that they're going through a hardship, and they always look at the content that I make, where I'm smiling, where I'm happy, I'm energetic. I'm usually like that, but I do have circumstances in my life that are just, oh my God, if I could write a book just on the last year with illnesses and the family, just the trials and tribulations. But I wake up every single day and I make a choice to figure out, okay, how do I battle that so that I don't become the situation? How do I keep fighting so that I can overcome the situation? And I'm just like, you know what? It's awesome because not because I get to do it. It's awesome because I have the opportunity to fight for it. It's awesome that I have the opportunity to be an example to other people that are going up against some pretty huge obstacles.
Mm. Ah, that's wild. That's wild. That what you're basically saying is that the situation can be the same. It's just the way you look at it. That you had a shift for yourself while you approach it in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. Let me give you an example. It's on my heart if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So so I one of my best performances, one of my very best performances, and this was in March, was I was an MC, and I raised oh my God, an ungodly amount of money for an amazing charity. As a matter of fact, it's the same foundation. Well, it's not a charity, it's a foundation. It's the same foundation that sponsors are one of our sponsors for the show. But I had one of the worst days in my life before. I got a child that suffers from an autoimmune disorder, and it was probably one of her worst days. It was a horrible day. And the very next day, I know for a fact that I tore that stage up because I wanted to find joy in my own heart. I wanted to induce joy in others. And you would have never known, man, probably in 5 years, I'll write a book on what we've been through as a family, and I'll put the dates together and show people, and they'll be like, "Oh my God." Right. But it's not because I'm amazing. It's not, I am amazing. Everybody's amazing. But it's because I never give up. I never give up. And I want to push everybody to have that the same mindset of never giving up. It might be a hard situation, but figure out a goal, figure out the people that you serve, and you'll keep fighting. If not for you, then for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make it bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. And for the people listening right now, I can only imagine that they're or walking or sitting, but they feel pumped because they're like, "Ooh, this mindset, this is what I already apply or want to apply even better." And how can we utilize this mindset in order to communicate our ideas in a better way that it resonates with others? Because what you're saying is so damn profound that if you feel that you serve others, you will just keep stopping. Never stop, keep going.
Hmm.
And
Right.
on the other side, like running enthusiastically in the wrong direction is just a bit of a waste of time, right? So how
Uh-huh.
can we like what would be your advice to people to run enthusiastically in the right direction already, like with the mistakes that you made or with that you see with people when you coach people?
Okay. So me, I thought I was running so hard for so many years. I didn't mention this, but I served in the Marine Corps. And my idea when I got out of the Marine Corps was that I'm gonna rise through the corporate ladder because I don't know why I had this freaking chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna rise through the corporate ladder, and that's what I was put on this earth to do. I'm going to be the highest in the company, and that's just going to be so amazing, right? And then, like I told you, I got to that point, and I'm pretty sure I was having a nervous breakdown, right? Because I ran so freaking hard in that direction, and I met the goal in the total opposite direction of where I needed to go, a place that was congruent with my heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what I would encourage anybody that's listening and viewing this. You need to go towards the direction that is within your heart. And I read this book by Evan Carmichael that put it so freaking perfect. I would highly encourage anybody that's trying to figure out what their purpose is to read his book, Built to Serve. But we as human beings, we are built to serve. That is our higher calling, right? And it's not until you start serving others, then you will truly figure out a way to serve yourself. It's the same thing as you start getting into the right direction. There's some people, they go through a hardship and they have cancer, and then they start doing volunteer work. Like I've watched my wife right now with the thing that's going on with my daughter for a while. I mean, she was the same way. She was the same way, making really good money, and realized that, okay, this ain't my purpose. But we got hit with the tragedy in our family, and I see her helping so many other families get through. Like, we might not be at level 10, like completely done with it, but it might be at level 5, but that's somebody else's level 10 because they on level 3, right? So I would just say, like, really think about it. What's in your heart? What can you do? What kind of pain do you have that you can turn into your passion and that you can fully serve others? And that's what I love about entrepreneurship, because you know what? It's your show. You can do whatever you want to do to serve people. And that's why when people say, "Oh, you're a speaker," I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm still not. I don't want to be speaking on a stage until I'm 1,000 years old, but I have a goal. I want to encourage people to be their better self. I want to encourage people to get over their fear of not just speaking, but get over their fear of anything that they got that's blocking them from the goal that they have in their life." And what I tell people that I coach, is one guy I always tell them, I always bring them back. What's in your heart? What is in your heart? Because if you follow your heart's going to lead you to serve others, and then you're going to fulfill your purpose. And you ain't going to be worried about running backwards, because you're going to be running so hard that ain't nothing going to stop you, because you're filled on something else. And that's because of the heart.
Wow. Wow, this is so amazing. It's not about strategy, it's not about being perfect, it's just about feeling what you do.
Yeah,
And
I say you follow your heart, you follow your passion. The strategy will come.
mhm,
We started we started in my bedroom recording videos um with a $50 green screen behind me. Like, it was so horrible, and I'm making videos in the car serving other people. And now we have this incredible studio, all of this equipment, but it was because of serving other people. And I feel like God, the universe, will put you in positions, and will teach you the skills. There's so much stuff I don't know about what I do right now, like our equipment. I call somebody and they'll help me do it, but I just want to use my voice, and then the tactics they'll come. It'll come to me because of your heart is going to fix this. You know what I mean?
Ah, like to be honest, I know what you mean, and sometimes I personally also forget. Like I tend to be up here so often that you think about all the strategies, and then you they say sometimes like you paralyzed through or uh, you paralyzed
Paralysis through analysis. Yep.
exactly. Thank you. That one. See, there it comes, and it never really serves, right? Like we just have to put like a goal in mind. Why are we doing this? And then everything will come. And what I really
Hmm.
liked, I was writing stuff down while you were saying, and one thing that you just said, like, in between, which I think is like a really big nugget right here, is your number five can be someone else's number 10. And what I really like about that is that we can often so overthink all these things because we need to be so perfect. But perfection is an illusion, eh? And if we look through the lens, like how you just framed it, it's like, okay, what if my number five can be someone else's number 10? And I don't look for people who are like 20 times better than me and that overwhelms me, but who can I help with the knowledge that I already have and serve them where they are? I think that's so
Yeah.
powerful because that creates an for the logical thinkers, where I sometimes can be one of them, creates also an opportunity for to just start running because you can help other people, not the whole world in one time, but you don't have to.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I'm on this journey and you said that, it made me think about this journey that I'm on. I'm stepping into course creation.
Mm,
And I started it and I procrastinated for months and months and months because I was up here and I'm looking at all of these different books. I'm looking at what everybody else put out as far as different books. I was reading Dale Carnegie stuff. I was just I just went I exploded with all of this information, but I still didn't feel ready to create the course. And the reason why I didn't feel ready to create the course was because I was looking at their pathway, looking at their voice. And I'm just like, you know what? I need to serve the people that like legitimately have a fear of public speaking, and I need to take them through my experience. I need to show them how I did it because I feel like without all the googly gawk and all the big fancy words, I know that I can help somebody get on the stage and rock it using their voice.
mm,
And those are the people that I help. But it wasn't until one day where I just started writing. I just started writing the things that came up through my heart. And then later on, I'm like, I had this moment with my wife. I was again, me emotional. I am over dramatic sometimes, but I'm just like, this is such a piece of art to me because it came from like my soul, like I went to Painted Plate the other day and where you paint pottery, this place
mm,
where you paint pottery. It was a mess when it was done. It looked like a mess, but I loved it because it came from my soul.
mm.
Somebody else would see it, an artist would see it, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's trash. Who made that?" But you know what? My daughter was like, "Hey, Dad, I like the little swirl that you did at the bottom. I've never did that before. Can you show me how to do it?" And then I'm sitting there showing her how to do the little swirl that was probably the only thing about the painting that was good, you know?
Oh, that's a very great story. And I'm curious, man, because you said in the beginning a lot of people say you're smiling all the time, and from what I've seen from you, I can only confirm. And yet you also say, like, if you say it or not, like, we're all human beings. We all have all the emotions, and I think it's very clear that we want to serve from the heart, and that is the core of everything we go through, and the strategies will come. what if on some point you just don't feel it? What is it that you do to
Mm,
shift yourself? Because we sometimes all feel meh, or we all procrastinate.
hmm.
But how can we shorten that time?
Oh, that's good. That's so good. For for me, it happens quite a lot, right? And I'm one of those speakers. I'm not going to get on stage and give people the rah rah. If I'm not feeling it, I go through a change. I know different things that I have to do, different strategies. I'll get on my bike. I have the peripheral vision going, and I'm thinking about certain stuff. I might go for a run. I might freaking go sit outside. I make sure that I don't stay in that moment. But if I need to be in that moment, if I need to have one of those days where, you know what, I'm working out of bed, or I'm just gonna be in bed, or I'm gonna be in the house, I'm gonna clean house. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things to get me to that spot. And if I'm not feeling it too, like the tool for me, I smile anyway, because that's gonna help me, because I know that my smile is going to serve others. And then I forget about my problems because I'm looking at the other person smile. Just like when I smiled, you smiled, and now you're smiling. I'm going to continue to keep smiling. And hopefully we take that outside of this conversation and we brighten up the smiles in other people, because we're all going through something. We are all going through something. It doesn't matter what kind of species you are. If you're growing, there's some pains in that growth, and you shouldn't have to go through it alone, and you shouldn't have to bury it so deep that you lose your smile. I encourage people to look for it in others, and I'm not saying fake it till you make it, but there are studies that say just by smiling that it's going to help your mood increase. And yeah, naturally, I'm not a smiler. I am not a smiler naturally. I did a photo shoot, and it was probably the most natural photo shoot that I did a couple of years ago. But all my pictures were, if you go on my website, it was how I was feeling. And I'm just like, I look at the pictures later, and I'm just like, I made a mistake. I should have smiled, because I feel very nervous looking at those pictures. I want to smile so that I can help others do the same thing. I don't know. Did that make sense? Like,
It does.
it's it's just a process, and I would keep going. I could keep weaving all kind of webs with that, but I just never give up on the opportunity to find joy. I never give up, ever. Never, ever, ever, ever do I want to give up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah.
Because what I find fascinating and is that, like, this whole conversation we started with the topic of public speaking, right? And a lot of conversations that I have are rarely tactical.
Mm,
And if we look at what drives us and what creates impact or results for ourselves, then skills are learnable. You can Google a lot of skills, right? Still, most often it's very smart to look at people who already know the skills and learn from them. But the biggest foundation of our behavior, especially the thing that apparently, according to research, we fear the most, standing in front of people, standing up for our idea, for our opinion, being ourselves in front of others, and
mm,
maybe the most vulnerable position when you are standing all alone and everybody's looking at you. Mindset is the core of that all. And I love
mm-hmm.
it that you talk about it so much, and give some insights in how you approach that, because I do think a lot of people look up to you and are very curious how you do these kind of things, so they can, become, in their opinion, from the 5 to the 6, which maybe is a
Yeah.
12 to someone else.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because even now, right? Every time I get ready to turn the camera, I do feel this feeling. And what I do is I tell myself I'm here to serve. And that helps me. And I have I just I go through different rituals. Sometimes I get on my hands and knees and I ask God, I I don't have the words today. Can you help me? And even more, like even if I don't, especially if I got too many words, help me because sometimes I could be long-winded. Give me exactly what, give me exactly what I need so that I can get the job done. And getting the job done is helping fill a hole in somebody's heart. And for me, with public speaking, it's everything. It's everything. My fear that I had with public speaking, it didn't start with public speaking. It didn't end with public speaking. I had a fear of driving on the highway, but I needed to get stood up, by one of my best friends. He was supposed to drive with me from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Indiana because I was afraid of driving on the highway. He didn't show up, and it was the one of the best things that ever happened in my life because I was put in a situation to where I just had to go. I had to take action. I had to, just like some people that might be listening to this, they got a presentation coming up. They got to do Facebook Live or whatever it is that they just absolutely have to do because they know that it's not only going to serve other people, but it's going to serve their family. It's going to serve them. I took action. I got in the car, right? And this is the same as clicking on. I got in the car and I just drove. I was drenched in sweat. I had a bottle of water, and it took me. Normally, it would take somebody 16 hours, but it took me 27 hours. I think it was about 27 once I looked, and I'm driving the whole time, and I'm telling myself, "You love driving. You and I used to, and let me stop myself. I used to make fun of people that would say, "Oh, just do positive affirmations." I used to make fun of those people. My wife always tell me, everybody you make fun of, you it seems like you make fun of them because you don't understand them. This is like back before, but then you'll study them and then you'll see why they do that thing that they do, and then you do it. And that's why I'm a vegetarian right now. I used to make fun of people. Oh, freaking who don't eat cows and what's wrong with you? But now I'm just like, you know what? My face is a whole lot less swollen when I don't eat meat. But yeah, anyway, back to the car. I got in the car and I just kept telling myself over and over and over and over and over and over again. I love driving. I love driving on the highway. This is my happy space. This is what brings me peace. This is what brings me joy. I said it over and over and over and over. And then I looked up and I was, it said, you are now entering in Indiana. And I could not believe it. I had made it home through affirmations, calling my auntie, calling my mom. That's the community part of this, right? Because you always got to have a community behind you, right? Some stuff you're going to need to just be alone with. And I was just like, oh my God, I felt so much pride. I felt so much joy. And now to this day, whenever I'm having some angst about something, whenever I just need a space, I go in the car and I drive on the highway, and my thing that I do that brings me back to calm me down. It's so weird, but you just got to do it, and that's my thing, is just doing it. Yeah,
Wow. But this is fascinating. Just the one thing that you feared most became something that now you do to relax.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I
Wow.
would literally just get in a car, like yeah, I mean, there was a point, I love driving so much. My commute, people would be like, I can't believe that you commute. It was like an hour and a half at one point, but I'm just like, yeah, it sucks, but I kind of like it. I like it because I get to listen to my audiobooks and I just get to become one with myself and I get to just think. I get to think, and it's my happy place. And yeah, yeah, you can go back and you guys, my friends, and when I was in high school, they'll tell you I would always be late, or was I late at first, but then after a while, super early, because I would leave really early because I knew that I had to take the back roads and not the highway. And it was just such an inconvenience to everybody, inconvenience to myself. But it was my fear, and I had to get over uh, that fear. And I'm glad that I went through what I went through, because when I'm pushing other people and in a very nice and subtle way to step out of their fear, right? I got to get a disclaimer. But I think about those moments that I was sitting there and all I needed was that little push, and that's what I try to do. I just try to grab their arm and say, hey, let's go. We're going.
Let's go together. Grab my hand.
Because yeah, because you're that pain that you got, there's a high chance that that could be like straight up be your passion.
Wow, that is really cool. It's not about like your pain becoming neutral or right. It's becoming like this thing that you can actually do to relax yourself or to use to help others. I think that's super
Mhm.
fascinating. Amazing. Mm. Like
Yeah, and that was the same thing with when I first started thinking about speaking, I would just grab my phone and whatever I was going through at work, I would go in the car again, like my happy place, right? I would go in the car and I would grab my phone and that's all I would do. I would just talk on my phone, record it, and just go through what I was seeing other people go through, what I was going through, and I would just talk to people, right? And then I start uploading it, and then people are like, "Oh, this is really good." And I was just like, "Oh, thank you. That helped you." Like that was just for me, or that was something that I was seeing that was going on at work. I just needed to talk it out. I never thought that I would be a public speaker. No, I never ever thought that would be what I would do for a living right now. I just can't see it. I just look back at me as a child, just being like shy, afraid to what I was gonna say. I was afraid to even like I had the school bus pulled up to my house to pick me up. I was always afraid because the kids are looking out of the school bus at me like while I was going. They weren't looking at me. They didn't care about what I was doing. They probably looking at their lunch bags to see what their mom had packed for them. But I'm even like walking out the house and like thinking that everybody's looking at me. But yeah, like I never would have thought that I would be doing this and get so much joy from doing it. Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing, man. Like honestly, congratulations. And I see on your shirt you have like hashtag inspire. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's not for a reason, I think, or without a
It's
reason.
a yeah, it's a reminder. it's a it's a reminder. It's like sometimes I need the verbal, not the verbal. I need the to see the words. I need to be able to say the words just as a reminder, right? I got this not only the shirt, but I got this one of my friends gave me this, and it's called a Go Fungal or something like that, but it's supposed to be Morpheus from the Matrix. And my friend says that, dude, you're like Morpheus. You see a lot of different things, and you care and you believe in people sometimes more than they believe in themselves. And he's like, that's what hurt you sometimes, because I'm passionate about the people that I work with, like passionate. And this is my reminder. My reminder is like to take care of myself, right? Take care of myself and take care of them in the same time, but I can't want it more than they can want it. So that's one thing that I would encourage both of our audiences, set yourself up in an environment to where you you're going to see success, to where you're going to see things that's going to trigger you to be successful. Like I mean, I can go on and on as far as that. Like if like I don't sweat no more, right? When I'm giving my speeches or my presentations, but um I feel comfortable if I have like a towel here, right? A fresh towel from my house today. Most speakers ain't gonna tell you this. They told me not to tell people that I had and still have a fear of public speaking. I didn't like that. I like being vulnerable. I like telling people, yeah, there's a chance that I can get nervous right now, but you know what? I'm doing this because I want to be here with you. I want to serve your audience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's awesome. And the community part that you were telling about, right? Like the first you called your mom and your aunt in the car, and now you were talking about it as well. It's like on your own, sometimes you go back to your old patterns, right? Because we all have them. Um, but then it's amazing if you find other people that can light you up, that can help you to shorten that period of being in those thoughts, um, and find them to be surrounded with, right? Like
Hmm.
um, to just dive in the ocean of people that light you up, basically.
Yeah, definitely. My when when I started having stuff, right, it's I made it it's funny. I remember getting on my hands and knees before, like when I first started my speaking journey. And I remember saying, God, just give me the words. Cause I even when I started speaking, I wasn't speaking to help other speakers. I was talking about the things that I had learned in leadership. But I would still get nervous and I would ask God to give me the words. And I said, even I want the experience because I didn't believe that my experience was enough to give to people. And it was almost like God was like, okay, you don't believe you got it. I know that you have the experience that you need. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to take you through more trials and tribulations so that you could be able to say, you know what? You can do it. If I can go through this, you can go through that. And he brought me through it. But there was one night in particular in reference to what to your statement. I was doubting myself because I was having a conversation with my mom, and I'm just like, Mom, I and she's my biggest cheerleader, and she's the one that'll always tell me when I'm wrong too. I said I'm not able to change the outcome in what's going on in my life right now, and we're talking about with the loved one. I said I'm not able to change that outcome. I feel almost like a fraud, like maybe I shouldn't be a speaker. And she said, "Boy, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind?" And the reason she said that was because I had asked for this and I was going through it. And she was like, that your mess right now can be somebody else's message. And I'm glad that she said that. And then my wife validated it too. But it was that community. If I would have quit speaking, I don't know. Like I don't know where I would be right now as far as uh making money, or where I would be as far as my heart and following uh my passion. But it is the community. There's so many of us that say, oh, we can go at it alone. You don't have to go at it alone. And it can be as simple as a Facebook group for community. There's an amazing Facebook group right now that we're a part of as a family, and oh my God, we pour into each other so much, especially on the hard days. We share the achievements, and that just keeps you going. I got other speakers where we started off at the same point, and they'll get to a certain level and they'll say, hey Tony, you got to check out this opportunity, dude. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then the same thing with me. Like I'll get something and I'll find out about a piece of information that helped my business, and the transaction could not even be closed yet, and I'm already texting one of my friends, somebody that's in my community. I'm already texting them and said, hey, you have to do this because this dude, I'm at the closing table right now with something amazing. Please get on this right now. And I'll send them the link. But uh, that's community. I got a mentor that says there's unity and community. I used to think it was cheesy, but there is really unity in community. You're looking at Tony, but you have a whole bunch of people behind me. I'm looking at Laurie, but I know that you have a whole community of people that's behind you, that's going to keep you going, that's going to keep motivating, keep inspiring you, keep pushing you to freaking keep running when you feel like stopping. When you fall, they're going to freaking reach down and grab you and pull you up. Yeah.
Wow, that's so true. And you know what resonates with me as a person, not me as like talking to you on camera, but like me as a person, is that often I, as a person, forget how far I got because you're in
Mm.
it. And then you need other people to help you remind where you were like 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years ago. Like today, I got a reminder from Facebook of a photo that 4 years ago I graduated. And when I think back at what I was thinking back then and what I'm thinking and being right now, I mean, stop having doubts about this one appointment that did not go well, or like, come on. Sometimes we need
Yeah.
Facebook, but more often than not, we need the people around us to help us with that vision, like what you mom said. Like, I didn't remember the exact words, but like,
To say,
what,
are you out of your mind?
Adiada, come on. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I do want um to help the audience um, compress time as well. So I want to ask one last question, and it will be an original one because I'm super sure that you got a lot of questions asked. But maybe there's like one question that no one asks, but you are dying to answer. So this is like basically a free moment for you to share what's on your heart right now.
Oh, what's on my heart? This is a good interview, I want to say, or good conversation. I love it. Um, what's on my heart is that, just like I said before, we all go through trials and tribulations as beings. And I know that there's some people out there that are suffering during those trials and tribulations because they don't have hope. And I want to encourage them to to really dig, to really go on that journey that we talked about before um, of self discovery. Don't so much look at the outcome, but look at the journey. Like really go on that journey, really go on the journey of finding yourself and figuring out where you fit in this world. There's a chance that you might be in the perfect spot. There's a chance that you might be in the wrong direction, but you're not going to get there if you let fear take over you. And the question for for me that like I don't get asked, or I've never got asked, is like what's your fear right now? What are you struggling with? What are you struggling to overcome? And I would say um is going to the next level, going to the next level as a speaker, getting um, to a point to where I never have the nerves to get on stage, because I feel like if I can shake all of the nerves, then I'll be able to serve people better, right? To get that voice right there, that thought to stop appearing in my head, but I will never stop giving up. I would never stop the process of never giving up. You get what I'm saying? Like I will continue to serve the people that are under where I'm at. When I say under, that don't sound right, but like how we are talking about the from the five, level 4, level 3, level 2, like help those people continue to serve, because it's going to be those people that are going to lift me up. And that's what I want to encourage everybody else to do, is to really go and serve somebody. If you're a speaker, you're trying to get into speaking business, don't try to do it don't try to do it alone. Do it with a community of other speakers. Do it with community of people that love and serve you. Really dig deep down and find out what that passion is. Don't do what a lot of speakers do, where they talk on a subject because it's popular. Do the work. Really do the work. And then when you get to a point to where I'm at, where I'm trying to redefine my message, it's not that hard, because I love and I care about people, and this is the subject that I care about. But it is a lot harder if you're not serving with your heart and you don't have a community under you.
Wow. I think that wraps it up also perfectly. It's like the one answer that from the stuff that you were already talking about. Serve from the heart. Don't do it alone. And lift others up. Wow.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tony.
I believe in that. Yeah. No,
Thank
I yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel emotional right now for some reason. Dang, man, why you do this to me? This is good. This is good. But yeah, no, I feel like people need to hear that right now because there's a lot of people suffering and there's a lot of people that have goals and dreams, but because of their current suffrage, they're not able to reach or even start the process of reaching for their goals and dreams, and it's just stunting their growth so much. And I feel so much empathy for those people, but I just want to grab them. I just want to help them. I just want to show them what the rest of the world see, because if it don't matter what we think about how amazing somebody is. What matters is what they think about themselves. What matters is if they keep going. And I think about this subject I think about this all day sometimes, like what would it take to get somebody to really believe in themselves and not um like succumb to the obstacles that are in front of them, because that's what I face all the time. It's a battle. It's a battle just to come to work, right? To go through, what you got to go through, like as far as like family. Like there's always some objectives, but it's just like, what do you have inside of you to help you reach that objective? What's really, yeah, man.
This is good stuff. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Haha, you watched till the end. Awesome! Now, if you like this video, then put a thumbs up down below and make sure you subscribe to the channel because there are way more cool interviews coming up next.